Hi, this is Sherry Veronica. With me in studio is Victor Calendar. He wants to talk to you about Dawn Marie. I don't know if he'll let me get a little piece in here and there, but I'm going to give him the floor. Victor, go right ahead.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. This is Vic. Today is the 9th day of March, 2026. It's 11:55 a.m. where I am. I want to talk about Dawn Marie Armstrong, all right? Nobody can beat Dawn Marie Armstrong up. Nobody. Let me tell you all this. Dawn Marie Armstrong came from a solid, hard-working family. Her mother, Skeeter Lane, is a hard-working lady who I know personally. Dawn Marie Armstrong went to Commonwealth School. She's well educated. I've never met her, but she's a decent young lady, hardworking. And let me say this for the record, and I'm going to use an expletive, and I don't care. I'm going to use it. She got fucked over by the Democratic Labor Party. The election before this one, she ran in the same constituency as Dwight Sutherland and gave Dwight Sutherland hell. That political ignoramus, that dominionite, Ralph Thorne, took the girl and moved her out of St. George South, and moved her to another constituency and put a loser like Felicia Dujon in that constituency. This is the kind of shit that happens in Barbados all the time. And it's been happening in the Democratic Labor Party for years, where they objectify women. They don't respect women in that fucking party.
But okay, can I get it?
Let me finish my chain of thought. Okay. They objectify women in the Democratic Labor Party. They do not respect women in the Democratic Labor Party. And again, I don't know why the fuck Ralph Thorne did what he did. But whatever it did with that Felicia Dujon, it does not smell right. Something is going on there, either something romantically or some shit is going on there, because you cannot possibly tell me an untested, unproven Felicia Dujon. Do you know that in the election cycle before this last election, Dawn Marie Armstrong got almost 2,000 votes, or maybe over that, running against Dwight Sutherland? And they throw the baby out with the bath water, Sherry Veronica. And you misspoke earlier when you said Tara. Tara Trotman doesn't have any ministry. She does not. She has no ministry. She's in Parliament, but she's a backbencher. But Dawn Marie Armstrong is the hottest fire, produces the toughest steel. She is tough. She's a good little politician. And so too, as much as I disagree with him on some issues, Kemar Stewart was in that party. And you got idiots like Eswick standing up on a platform talking about economics and is not a trained economist. Kemar Stewart is a trained economist. Again, this whole political shit is ass backwards, run by a bunch of mental fucking midgets. That old party, how the fuck can you put someone like Donville Innes, a crook, a convicted felon, in charge of anything? How? He's not been contrite with the people of Barbados at all. Richard Seeley, another loser. Ronald Jones. David Eswick, who objectifies Barbadian women, objectifies them. It's a bunch of losers and hypocrites in that party. I'm not going to shut up. It's a bunch of hypocrites and losers in that party. And Ronnie Yearwood, you need to grow some testicles, goddammit. You and Steve Blackett need to grow some testicles and come back and take what's rightfully yours. Grow some fucking testicles. You all are acting like a bunch of fucking eunuchs. The country is hurting. This is a fine young woman. Why should she have to leave the party? And you got a bunch of fucking losers walking around there. A bunch of damn political welfare recipients. Dawn Marie, you hold your head up. You don't got nothing to hold your head down about. I suggested a long time ago that you get with some people that can help you politically, other than these political vagrants that you are associating yourself with. They're a bunch of losers. Greasy old rum shop losers. No, I done talk.
Yeah, getting back to Dawn Marie, I feel that, like you mentioned, her schooling and the background of her family, I have always felt that when someone has any slight resemblance, because I don't believe people are intelligent, but we say those words here on the earth. But I feel as though if anyone has the slightest amount of intelligence, they are not slow to move. They can understand where they are and they move pretty swiftly. That for me, that's a sign of intelligence. Just like slavery. I've always said you cannot enslave a human being. A human being. You can enslave a subhuman being. You can enslave a slave. You cannot enslave a human being. And I stick to you see, there's certain things that I stick to. If you are in a certain place and you stay too long, for me, it's an indication that you're dumb. You may be smart when it comes to repeating things and writing things back down. You may have some people have very good memories and they can regurgitate what they've heard. But I'm talking about smarts, like really being like self and centered. I feel that Dawn Marie Armstrong, the fact that she waited this long, even as I said in my blog, the Trotman woman, she was in the junior section of the club, the DLP club. She pulled out. The woman from FOB, Friends of Democracy, she pulled out. I felt that Dawn Marie moved a bit too slowly for me to show her any respect. That's my position on that.
I think Dawn Marie Armstrong, is a loyal, dedicated person. Maybe even to the detriment of not being loyal to herself. And I can't knock her for that. She's not a political grasshopper like the rest of those losers that will do anything. I don't respect a person who would say anything and do anything and change political stripes and colors in order to advance themselves. That's a selfish son of a bitch. I can't agree with anyone that's like that. That's not Dawn Marie Armstrong. She has certain values that she holds to politically. And from that standpoint, I support her 100%. I support her 100%. What I don't support is anybody who would change, especially if they've been aligned with a political establishment and that establishment is down on its luck and then they fly the coop. But they've always benefited from that political. I would not have hired that guy, that's that lawyer guy, what's his name? The one that came over in his Bridgetown. I wouldn't hire him. I wouldn't hire him. I wouldn't hire him. He was the guy in charge of the damn transport board with all them buses with holes in the floor and all kinds of problems. All transport board had all massive problems. I wouldn't hire no Chris Sinclair. Chris Sinclair was the architect of doom financially. He's the reason why Mia Motley had to go to the IMF with the multiple downgrades. I wouldn't hire him. I want to hire you. Think I
So
could trust him?
wait, you're talking about Lashley and St. Clair?
Both of them.
Oh,
What are you talking about? Both of them, I want to hire none of them. They can come to my party. No, man. No, not both of them. Chris Sinclair and Michael Lashley can't be trusted as far as you can throw them.
no politician
But
can
me-
be, but go ahead. Go
Mia
ahead.
Motley made a decision, and she's the prime minister. She's the leader of the government, leader of the Barbados Labour Party. She brought him in, so there must be something in there. There must be something that both of them brought to her to help her maintain the government. And that's how politics is. But I'm saying to you that Democratic Labour Party with the old guard snooping around, like you said in your blog, Frondell Stewart, Richard Seeley, David Eswick, Verla DePisa, who's never won anything. All she does is run her mouth like she has diarrhea. She has diarrhea of the mouth. And the rest of those losers that's in there, that's never done anything, never won anything, never held a constituency ever. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Look to younger. If you're gonna lose with the future. Look into the future. Not lose with a bunch of old, tired battle axes that can't do one damn thing. They're battle axes, man. Can't do a damn thing. You understand? Can't do nothing. And get the right people in place, not sycophants. Get the right people in place who are going to speak truth to power and go on from there. Go on from there. Dawn Marie Armstrong didn't do anything wrong. She was no political grasshopper.
I'm not sure where you're going with your spiel, but no one is saying she did anything wrong. There's no wrong or right.
But you said that she should have left you said that she should have left she should have moved and gone to the Barbados Labour Party. And while I agree with you, I'm saying to you that that's a dichotomous situation, because she showed that she was loyal with that party up until the end. But that party objectifies women. That's my substantive point, Sherry.
But she knew that party hardly has women in there, and then the women are in the background. She knew that. She knew that. You cite her credentials. She knew that. She did.
Yes, she did.
And look how she showed up in the paper. She showed up in the paper looking like Natalie or Muscle Cat. I actually thought it was Muscle Cat. I mean, come on. If you're talking, you have to look at the person as a whole. Yes, I understand that. But part of that is decorum. Decorum. You think that I'm going to go into a newspaper and have them put cameras on me, showing tattoos and my face looking all greasy and a sun hat and half dressed like something that I would just wake up and walk around the house in, and have them put that in the newspaper? Me? Put me in the newspaper looking like that? Now, come on, man. I'm just saying.
But let me ask you a question, though. Let me ask you a question since you raised that point. When I talk about any man that walking up and there with the balls hanging down,
where's that?
When I talk about that,
yes.
When I talk about any man that looking,
I would.
Well, not too many people gonna talk about that.
I do.
No, let me finish. Not too many people gonna hold a man to the same fucking standard that they hold Dawn Marie too.
I do. And when their bellies get too big, I'm asking them, are you like 9 or 10 months pregnant?
That's a whole lot of them. Let me
exactly.
just go on that rabbit. You really want to go on that rabbit hole? Let me go on that rabbit hole.
Yes.
Let me go on that rabbit hole.
But I always ask. I say, how many months?
Look at the fat people in the fucking Barbados.
But I always say, how many months pregnant are they? Yes, I talk about it because.
Let me go down that rabbit hole. Now, Dawn Marie Armstrong is a human being. Why is she not allowed? And I go staunchly defend she, man. Why is she not allowed? Why is she not allowed a day to be off?
Oh, she's allowed, and so, but so are we. So am I. I'm just making comments, but you know. So
you're right.
yeah.
I'm not suggesting that you should make a comment.
No, but you're right, and I'm making a comment. But all I'm saying is
but
that
look at the men in the Barbados Labour Party.
you ain't done
that rabbit hole.
They look
You ain't
horrible.
done that rabbit hole. Let me
But
talk
they
about
look
it.
horrible.
Let me talk. The Prime Minister can stand. The Prime Minister can stand to lose a few pounds. So too could
You mean like 200? You mean like 200?
So too could Chad Blackman. You had a man
300.
show up.
300.
You had a man show up. You had a man show up to a parliamentary process as a senator. Show up at a swearing-in ministerial swearing-in ceremony with no fucking socks on his feet.
I talked about that. We talked about that.
And you had another one show. So if Don, so let me say this then. Dawn Marie went to the newspaper. I haven't seen it, looking the way you said she looked, but I am sure that Dawn Marie Armstrong would not have shown up to a swearing-in at Parliament half-dressed. I'm sure she would have shown up there looking like that. I am positive, because the kind of family that she comes from would have allowed her to do that. So she had a bad day. I'm going to go along with her bad day, and I will console. If I could, I would console her, but I won't put her down, because look how they objectified women. Look how David fucking Eswick, a big belly son of a bitch like him, has come on platforms and objectified women.
She has objectified. When Dawn Marie was on the campaign train, what she said about Mia Mottley, calling her names. They're all.
And what did she do after she did that? She apologized.
Why? Because she got pulled. She got pulled up.
She apologized. At least she apologized. Has David Eswick apologized?
No, but what I'm saying is you are defending someone who is political, and politics is a dirty game, and it
is a blood sport. It is a blood sport. I agree with you.
Exactly. So as a blood sport, you can. I don't understand how you defend, but anyhow, you could defend, and I could defend, or I can have a comment here and there. But it's a nasty game. It's a really dirty game.
It is a nasty game. So it's a political. The political animus is that really and truthfully, the Barbadian political elites, and like Fondell Stewart said, there's only one class that counts in Barbados. That's the political class. He made that statement. They don't really want to have women in there, and if they have women in there, they come across as in the Democratic Labour Party as fucking airheads. As long as you can stand on your feet and think, they don't want women in the Democratic Labour Party.
If the women in the Democratic Labour Party could stand on their feet and think, they would not be part of that party. That party is misogynistic.
But you don't know what anybody promised anybody.
Yeah,
for
but
example,
a promise is you're talking to a fool now when you're talking about promises. Come on,
but
now.
Look what happened. Look what happened once Thompson died. They made Thompson's wife run for Thompson's, and obviously she got the sympathy vote up there in St. John. But she was virtually a useful idiot in Parliament. What did she contribute? That shows that what Fondell Stewart said is actually correct. There's a political fucking class in Barbados that does not regard women running, even when Errol Walter Barrow was prime minister of Barbados.
That defeats what you just said, because she did win. She did win.
But she won. She won the sympathy vote. Yes.
Okay. It doesn't matter.
She won.
In politics,
She had the Thompson name. Yes.
I didn't keep her there. It didn't keep her there. It did not keep her there.
But it didn't keep her there because at the end of the day, guess what? It proved my point. My point is salient, that she had no right being there in the first place. But again, do I fucking think that Neil Rose should be in Parliament? Hell to fucking no.
Neil Rowe does not speak well. He does not come over well. But please do not bring up the lawsuit again. Do not, because he's been found innocent.
No,
of that.
no, I'm not bringing
Okay.
up the lawsuit.
Okay.
I think that on the law from the lawsuit point, I'm glad he won, because I thought that lady was she did a disservice to herself and to women in Barbados. I believe that.
Yeah.
That's my belief system.
Yeah.
It's not about the law. It's not about that.
Okay.
That I don't think. It's not about that.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, he should not have gone back in, and Sutherland should not have gone in. There are a few that should not have gone in, but they did. They did.
Well, you could thank Ralph A. Thorne for the Sutherland victory, because he took the girl out of where she was and moved her. Why? Why was she moved?
Who are you
Why?
talking about?
Dawn Marie Armstrong ran against Dwight Sutherland to an election cycle before this last election. And she gave Dwight Sutherland hell up there in St. George. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
But he won decisively in St. George. Decisively.
Against the useful idiots, Felicia Dujon. Yes,
Okay.
he did. Yes. He wouldn't have done that with Dawn Marie Armstrong this time around. I guarantee you that.
Dawn Marie is slow on the uptake. She's slow.
No, she's not slow. She's not slow. I disagree with you.
Okay, that's
Not
okay.
not a little bit diametrically disagree with you.
Yeah. that's
She's
okay.
not slow.
Slow.
She's not slow. She might be dedicated and honest, and that is sometimes a virtue that you cannot afford to have in politics.
And what did they say? The good guys always finish last? She's slow on the uptake.
Yeah.
Good guys always finish last. I guess she and you have never heard that saying, right? Good guys finish last. Okay.
She was loyal. I don't think good guys finish last. I think there's a place. The first shall be last, and the last first.
You going religious on me now? Okay.
No, not religious. Factual. How many times have you seen the downtrodden rise to the top like cream?
Not many times. I think the monarchy is still there in England.
What monarchy? What monarchy?
And they're considering themselves downtrodden, but they're still up there. They're still up there. If you talk to them, they were as though they were so meek and they were so not rich.
Let me tell you something. I know. Let me tell you something. Do you know that the last reigning monarchy in Europe is the House of Windsor? Do you know that?
Yes.
Reigning. The last reigning. You know what happened to all the rest of them? All the rest of them got killed off, slaughtered.
But we're not there yet. Everything repeats, but we're not at that repeat point yet.
All of them got, so history
it repeats.
History serves as a catalog for time. We just got to be patient. It serves as a catalog for time.
Yeah.
It serves as a catalog for time. I'm going to get off of this Dawn Marie thing now. I'm going to Kamala Bassasar.
It's not Kamala, it's Kamala.
I'm going to, I don't care what her name is. I say Kamala, whatever. Right? Kamala Bassasar is a regional trader. She don't give a damn thing about the totality of Trinidadianism.
But you know there were other people there from the Latin American.
No, I want to talk
right?
about. I want to talk about her.
Oh, okay.
The subject of my conversation is her. I'm not talking about the other people.
Oh, okay.
You know why I'm talking about? You know why I'm talking about her? Because with her, it's personal with Mia Motley. It's personal. The other ones, it's not personal. Wholeness and the guy from Guyana, it's not personal like it is with Kamala. She's got a personal problem and she was sent. Whoever is her handlers, wherever her handlers are, they sent her to be anti-Mia. Could be the Jewish lobby. They sent her to be anti-Mia. I want to talk about that. See, I'm not, there's no damn tenderfooting here with me. I'm going to talk about what I see in her and what she's doing to the region. And the people of Trinidad, they will come to find out what she is and who she is real soon. Real soon. Mm-hmm.
You know,
See, when you don't take...
but do you know that the only president, she's the prime minister, but the only president that has left office that people, your sentiment that people are going to find out what she is really soon. The only president that I know who has been in office and left and didn't have that kind of saga behind him was Obama. Everyone else seemed to have that. What you just said, people are going to find out and they leave with a very sour.
Well, he has saga behind him. He has saga behind him. He was decent in the fact that he didn't have any scandals. But let's go back and let's harken back to his days in power. I'm not looking for political absolution. I'm not looking for somebody who comes there and is all holier than thou. But I'm looking for someone who gives a damn about the populace, who gives a damn about people.
You're not going to find that in politics. I'm sorry. You're not going to find that in politics.
As a collective, I disagree. As a collective, you know, you might not find the totality of it, but at least you act like you give a damn. Kamala don't give a damn. She don't give a damn about
empire has fallen.
She don't care about black Trinidadians.
Every empire has fallen. It shows that the people usually rise up and tear it apart.
Her party was the party that used the term, the methodology, Indo. They interjected Indo into the Trinidadian lexicon. And that the UNC under Basdio Pandey and Kamala Bassasar interjected Indo. They interjected separatist behavior into the Trinidadian lexicon.
But you see that everywhere, even with high schools in Barbados. Even with going to Harrison College or Queen's College, which is a high school, you could see that they separate themselves and they're 11, 12 plus.
But
it happens all over.
That was a colonialistic measure that the Prime Minister of Barbados, and I give this to Mia Marley, has addressed and has said that she wants to move north for that foolishness. She has said it. Go back and listen to her speeches.
I don't have to go back. I've heard her, but it hasn't happened. The same way she could create something in Parliament and change the Constitution within a couple days or maybe a week or two of her getting in there where the Atherley Thorn Judas thing came into play, where they cannot cross the floors unless they go back to the population and have a vote. The same way she did that quickly, she could have done something about the high schools, which is even less.
How many prime ministers we had before Mia? We had 7 men before Mia. And none of the 7 to include some very vaulted, venerable men, right? That never addressed the situation.
What situation?
Of separatist behavior as far as the schools go. At least she addressed it. You got to give her a little bit of time.
I'm not giving her clout. I'm giving her clout. But I'm saying it's easy to say something. I want her to do it. The same way she did it with the crossing of the floor. We live in the United States of America.
And look at the United States of America. Look at what politicians do and say in this country and never follow through.
Exactly.
We are black people. I agree with you. But in all hope springs eternal, I am knowing that Mia Amor Marley will eventually get to the substance of that issue with the schools as well as
this is her 3rd term. It should have happened before. Like I said, she's slow on the Mia Motley is slow on the uptake on that one. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. She's slow.
Well, I would agree with you. She's a bit slow on that, and she's a bit slow on the sexual predators.
Real slow on that one.
There are things that I hope for.
Real slow.
But you know, you have to keep all politics, and politicians need to be reminded from time to time, you know, This is what
you really think she does not know what's going on in the courts, where most cases in the courts are sexual assault cases against children? You really think she doesn't know?
Well, I mean, I would hope that she has that she's
she knows.
on the present.
She knows.
I would hope.
And her attorney general knows. They know.
Yeah.
And she has done nothing. She has done nothing.
Yep. So I think that she'll work to it. I hope that she works to it. But I will concede that point to you reluctantly, but I will concede that point to you. I will concede that she does know. And she should be working towards that. Yeah, but as far as all the other stuff is Mia Motley, man. Mia Motley. And don't care how much they try to have this dog and pony show. They can't beat Mia. They can't beat her. When they're sleeping, she's studying. That's all of them.
Let's get back to Dawn Marie, because you started up with her and you came on the radio with her in your mind, your thoughts. If she wanted to be a politician, because she's talking about still continuing her work and that kind of stuff in the constituency and blah, blah, blah. So there's still something going on. If she really wanted to be a politician, she could have done like the FOB lady did and form her own political party, or gone with Mia Motley, go to Mia Motley and say, hey.
Sherry, you know in my commentary in the past, I suggested that. You know that. So you're preaching to the choir here. I suggested a long time ago.
But you were talking about her being long-suffering and loyal and that kind of stuff. So which is it?
No, you heard my previous blog? I suggested a long time ago that she cross over and that she be mentored. Same thing with Kemar Stewart. Kemar Stewart is not a bad little politician. He's just not been given.
Why do you say it that way? A bad little politician. Why do you use those words when you talk about Kim? You didn't use those words when you were talking about Dawn Marie.
Because Dawn Marie is a better politician than Kemar Stewart. Chalk and cheese, better politician. Not brighter on economic matters, because Kemar Stewart can hold his own economically against anybody. But Dawn Marie has proven herself at the polls in the elections in a very tough constituency. Very tough constituency.
So you're on the radio now. What advice do you have for Dawn Marie?
I think that Dawn Marie shouldn't quit politics. I think that she should find herself over to the Barbados Labour Party. work in the constituency. Why I say the Barbados Labour Party is that she cannot win at the polls as an independent or with a fringe political party. She cannot. So she needs to go suck it up, go under the umbrella if she wants to be in politics. Go under the mentorship of Mia. Mia Motley is going to be done from politics and Stantia Bradshaw probably within the next political cycle or two. And the political landscape, the road up ahead is wide open for young politicians to come into the party and do something progressive. Yeah, going forward. So I think that Dawn Marie has a lot to offer Barbadians, whether it's from a community service standpoint or as a member of parliament or in the opportunity to step.
Prasad is like 40, it's like 73. She's old, so I'm sure Mia Motley could go just as long as Kamala.
Nah, Mia Motley's not going to stay in politics into the 70s. That's not even Mia. Mia will probably be an international civil servant. She'll probably get a posting.
Oh, so you're waiting for Trump to leave? Okay.
He ain't going to remain president for the rest. He got 3 years left in his term.
But the Republicans could get back in for another term. It will not be him, but it could be Republican.
No, sister. Nah, nah. If you want to take up a bet on that,
Nah.
I figured you didn't want to do that. I mean, we could, I know you're an exquisite cook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can always do one of your fantastic turkey bakes, and I'll send you an entire salmon from out here in the Northwest. I'll send you a sockeye salmon or something. But nah, Mia Martley, with or without any endorsement from anybody in this country, will, if she wants to be an international civil servant, in a secretariat role, in a leading role. Trust me. Her advances on climate change, her stabilization of the Barbadian economy and Caribbean politics already set her up. She doesn't need to be prime minister into her 70s.
I think if Mia Motley would make it illegal for grown men to have sexual relations with children, because at 16 years old, I don't know if you know what a 16-year-old, but they're still giggly and they're kids. And I think that if she were to raise the age of consent to 18, which is still a child, still young, but raise 16 to 18, if she were to do that list that we've talked about, and if she were to regulate the schooling, that 11 plus, I would have respect for Mia. I kind of like her, but not that much. I think that there's a lot of things that she has not done that shows her to be more male than female in a way. She's male centric more so than female centric.
That's your opinion, and I have to respect your opinion. But that's the problem that I have across the board with people when it comes to Mia. Nobody's going to go back and talk about Tom Adams. Nobody's going to go back and talk about Owen Arthur. Nobody's going to go back and talk about Erskine Sandiford or that man, Frondell Stewart, or H. Bernard St. John.
We want Mia. Mia is here now, and we want her to do it.
Yeah, but I'm talking about a standard of holding people accountable across the. It's good that you're going to hold Mia accountable, and she wants to be held accountable. But don't.
Am I doing that? Am I really doing that? Holding her accountable? I'm just saying, as a human being,
you are holding her accountable.
So you're saying that if
you want her to go someplace that other people haven't been.
No. It's not only her. I want the group that she's a part of. She's a leader of a group. I would love to see them care, or even if they don't care, pretend you care about children in Barbados and raise the age of consent. Put the guys who abuse children on the list.
I agree with you. You have no disagreement from me. You have no disagreement from me that there needs to be a legislative process in place to raise the age of consent. Point well taken.
A 16-year-old is a child.
Point well taken. I cannot disagree with you on that. All right? As a survivor of sexual abuse, I can't disagree with you on that, and I wouldn't. But again, my substantive point is simply this. I believe name a prime minister that has even envisaged having a conversation about raising the age of consent in Barbados.
But what you're saying, in my opinion, does not make sense. It's like you've been enslaved for 300 years, and someone in your group, when you're out of the sun, out of the field, saying, but we cannot continue this, we have to rebel, and someone saying, name someone in 300 years, three centuries that has rebelled, and what has happened to them. Name some. There's always a start. You cannot
listen, but people did do that though. Sherry, you're missing the point. People did do that. People did at the height of slavery, antebellum slavery, chattel sea, did say they They didn't believe that someone would come and free them and point them to the north, point them to the way out of slavery.
But what
You know how many people
what
didn't
I'm saying is there are people in the group who were enslaved saying, "Well, I like it. I don't have to, buy my clothes. I don't have to buy my food. The master,
Yes.
he takes care of us." And
Yes.
what it is to hear that. And the multitude now you have to understand that the multitude is feeling that way, and someone from that multitude is going to sell you out because they're going to hear you say, "We got to get off this plantation. We got to get out."
But let me ask you a question then. How many people in Barbados vociferously, beside you and myself and a few other bloggers, there are a few others out there who have raised the issue about child sexual molestation of children. Some have been vociferous, not as vociferous as you and I have been. But how many others are raising this conversation?
I don't usually watch other people's blogs, so I don't know. But I know that.
But see, I do. And I do out of respect for gathering content and for having a difference of opinion. I listen to people that I completely disagree with. Completely. Because it lends substance to the way that I think. And when I say that you got a whole lot of people up there that can give a pop ass about children being violated as long as not in their household and sometimes even in their own household.
Again, you're proving my point. You're proving my point.
How?
You're proving my point when you start to look back on other prime ministers and saying to me, well, how many of them wanted this and how many of them wanted that? I'm saying, let's deal with now. They didn't want it, like you're saying now. People don't give two F's about what is going on in the world. Except
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question. There are 30 people in the House of Assembly in Barbados. I agree with you. Your point is not lost to me, Sherry. I hear you. How many people are in the Senate? I don't have a number. You will stump me on that if you ask me. But I know 30 is in the House of Assembly. Not a single one of them have raised that issue to include the Prime Minister. Why, Sherry? Why? I can tell you why I believe they haven't.
Why haven't they?
Because amongst them may be some sexual fucking predators themselves.
That's a low lying fruit. That is something that would come. That would be the first thing that will come to mind. But I'm more.
Let me finish my point.
Wait. I know where you're going with your point. I think people listening know where you're going with your point. You're thinking that they're culprits. They're the culprits. So they don't want the law coming down on them.
No, that's partially it. That's partially it. So now you have the legislature that formulates the laws, institutes the laws. And now you have the judiciary who acts upon the laws and the sentencing guidelines that come from the law, come from that. If you got judges who believe that having sex with 16-year-old girls, you don't know who else out there could be.
I understand where you're going with what you're saying, and I'm saying that's low-lying fruit. And I'm also, and I'm going to up that and say, maybe nothing has happened because the people in the lodges and the people who come to Barbados are trafficking young children, and that Barbados is the epicenter for children it's like Epstein Island. Barbados could be Epstein Island, and they're protecting the law.
I cannot disagree.
They're protecting people in the law. And I'm not even talking about the people in politics in Barbados and the judges. I'm talking about the overlords. And that's why they cannot broach the subject, because it would be offensive to the overlords. And that's where I'm going with that.
It could be. It could very well be. So the point is, if that's the case, then how do you expect to arm the situation with the Prime Minister of Barbados?
By talking about it. By you and I talking about it. People are going to hear this.
I talk about it and you talk about it.
But we keep
And
on
we've talked
talking
about it.
until you're dead. Until you're
We've
dead.
talked about it for
Yes.
7, 8 fucking
Yeah,
years.
until
And
you're
guess
dead,
what?
Victor. Until
And
you're
guess
dead.
what? I'm going to talk about it because I've been affected by it. And I know that other children are being affected by it.
Every
But
day.
politicians ain't going to talk about it because guess what? From a constituency
Because
standpoint,
they know what side their bread is buttered.
let me finish. There's nothing for them to gain. When they can gain something, right? A 16-year-old don't vote. Their parents do.
And they can't work. They're too young.
Right. So guess what? As long as they can't get votes from a 16-year-old, they can't give a fuck what a 16-year-old goes through. They just don't.
They're children.
Right?
The reason they cannot vote is because the reason they
Let's
cannot
keep
vote
it
is
real.
because they're children.
What have we protected? Look, what have we protected? I agree with you. I'm making the same.
It's the overlords. It's the overlords.
I'm marching in the same
Barbados is a Masonic island, and they're protecting the overlords. It's not about the judges and the politicians and the policemen or whoever else do it. They're protecting the people who. Go ahead.
You give the lodges too much credit. Let me tell you something. Black lodges, insignificant. You give the lodges too much credit.
I actually wasn't talking about black lodges.
You give the lodges too much credit. I mean, the power, you want to find out where the power is, all you got to do is look for the money. Look for the industries, like you said, that are harbingers of wrongdoing. You go to the tourist sector, the people that's coming in, that's driving tourism, those are the people that you may be able to look at and say, well, hey, children are suffering at the hands of these pedophiles and whatever else. But I guarantee you this, if Barbados was a majority white country, or the percentage of Barbadian whites was more than 5 or 10%, and you touch one of them white children or one of those Indian children, I guarantee you that majority black parliament will have something to say about it. They'll dance to the music.
I'm going back to children and why me and Motley and the other politicians have not ventured to stop what is happening in Barbados. And I'm still going to say the lodges in combination with the churches there, because you're thinking that it's a separation, but it's not. So if you add churches and lodges, then Barbados, it runs on religion and it appears to be like a Christian nation, but it's actually satanic in substance. Satanism is the trump card of Barbados. Okay, Satanism is the trump card in Barbados. And when you say lodge, you have to add the churches. And they will say, you will say appointment, and they will say installation. In the lodge, they will call they use certain words, and it's purposeful. It's purposeful when they talk about ordained ministers, and when they say they enjoy the honors of the emoluments, and that there's certain words that they use when you hear them talking in their lodges. The lodges and the churches, and when you combine it, it's a satanic island, and that is why they cannot stop what is happening to the children, because that's where they get their energy from. Young children, that's where the energy comes from. When they're scared.
The euphemism and the words, of course, I mean, you're not an idiot, so I can't even. It's colonialistic, all right? The whole thing is driven on what they have learned. It's learned behavior. They're wrapped up. And the embodiment of our island is colonialistic.
It's satanic for me. For me, it's satanic.
But that's all the world. Look at the United States.
The churches, the lodges, the churches and the lodges, and what they allow to happen to young children. You have to say that Satanism is the trump card in Barbados.
Of course, it's satanic. Of course it's satanic. Of course it's irreverent. Of course it's unspiritual. We know that. So how can you go to someone who espouses a belief system in a colonial power and all of the things that you just said in Satanism and expect them to have a reversal? How?
We talk about it, and the people, wake the people up, the people.
You have to wake
Like I
the
said,
people
but like
up.
I said, all empires, all have
The
fallen.
people
All.
depend. Let me tell you something. When a man or woman is hungry, Sherry, my experience has been when a person is hungry and their ass is showing, they don't give a damn about what you are. But
from the ancestors the ancestors that I came from said, let me go into the oceans and join my ancestors at the bottom of the ocean. That's the DNA that I have. That's my DNA. That's my.
They weren't ancestors, Sherry. They weren't ancestors. They were ancestors. Not a play of words. A-N-K. Ankh. They didn't have a belief system that was centered around European theology.
That was the worst thing. They
were Afrocentric.
Yeah.
And, everybody got mad with Kanye West when Kanye West said that black people wanted to remain in slavery.
I agree with him. I remember talking to you.
And he's 100% right.
And I told you then, I said, I agree with him.
People
want to be deceived, ergo, they are deceived.
And we still want to believe in slavery. Look at what we do. Look at what we do. And is this modernity? Look at what we do.
Can you imagine?
We still go to something called the fucking Jolly Roger.
Exactly.
Jolly Roger. The slavers named a slave ship coming across the Atlantic.
Agreed.
The good Jesus.
But could you imagine reading that there were a group of people called the Crusaders who would kill you if you didn't take the Bible, and they were talking about they're giving you religion and you should not kill and you should not do this and you should not do that, and they were killing you. They were demonic. They were Satan themselves.
Let me ask you a question. What place in the Caribbean has more churches per capita than anywhere else in the world?
Probably Barbados, man.
Negative. Jamaica has more churches per capita than any place else in the world.
But that's bigger. That's a bigger,
right? But let me tell you. You go now. You do the comparison. You know what they're doing with churches in Europe? They're turning them into hostels, and they're turning them into homeless shelters and stuff like that.
It doesn't because it's a big lie. How could someone have a sword at your throat and giving you a Bible and telling you should not kill? And then you reading about it, not you because you take the Bible, but your kids, like now, your kids, they must read about that. At some point, it comes across there.
Dr. Eric Williams.
At some point, you read about that and you realize there were the devils themselves that were, killing people to take this and then telling people don't kill and whatever else. So when does the change happen? When do people just read the Bible as a collective set of books, history books, and say, you know what, there could be some direction there, and there could be something that makes sense in it, but not to worship, not to bow down
Dr.
and
Eric
worship.
Williams said it right when he wrote his book. From Columbus to Castro. When Dr. Eric Williams said, when they came, they said they fell on their knees and then they fell on the Aborigines. And it's always been that way. It always will be that way.
And how could the colonials...
Africa will never, the continent of Africa will never enjoy the freedom that it should enjoy because they were given the Bible.
They drank the Kool-Aid.
Europeans were given the land, like Jomo Kenyatta said. When Englishmen came to Kenya, Kenyans had the land, Englishmen had the Bible.
Yeah.
When Englishmen left, the Englishmen left, the Englishmen had the land, and the Kenyans had the Bible. And it will never, as long as you
But
subscribe.
they're really to this. But okay, Victor, we're living here and now, and this the history. We have the internet. The children, they have the internet, and I know they're doing it to play games, and they're not really looking at what they should be looking at. But if it can come across their screen, and they understand that the people up there in England who hold all that wealth and call you common, you're commoners, you're the Commonwealth or whatever. How does it last? How does it stay? How is there not a revolt? How can someone who's subjugated?
You cannot have the children learn when the parents are ignorant. How? Parents are ignorant. And happy with it and happy to be ignorant. The parents don't want to know. The parents believe that putting on a collar and tie, acting like they're good servants of the queen, servants of the queen, living on land that's allodial. You know what that big word means? Allodial. That the land is owned by the fucking crown. By the crown. Crown never tilled the soil. The crown never grew a vegetable in that soil. But the land is allodial. It's owned by the crown. Big word, small meaning. All right? So when you got parents who don't understand these things, and we laugh at Alex Mitchell, me included sometimes, but he has a fucking point. Why should anybody that never tilled the soil, no one that never grew a vegetable in the soil, that's 5,000 miles away, be saying to the people of Barbados that this land is still rented out or owned by some plantation owner?
The only people who can stop it are the people. And you know that Barbadians still go to England and bow down and take the sir and take the whatever titles they take from England, from the people there. You know it still happens to this day. To this day, you would think that, like I said in another blog, that when you hear the word monarchy and king and queen and that kind of stuff, you will have like some fit. It's almost like the N-word. It's almost like the N-word. You know, certain people can't say the N-word. It be like that. But no, they hear about monarchy. Ooh, my king, and I'm like, really? You hear what them people call what they have? They call it a firm. That's what that woman called it. Yeah. Queen Elizabeth. A firm. What does that tell you? That anybody who is thinking, who has his or her thinking cap on, will automatically know, right? And by the way, the first prime minister in the history of Barbados, well, two people proposed it. Owen Arthur, the late Owen Arthur, and then Mia Motley came in and reinforced it. To get the hell away from all of that foolishness. But they're still part of the Commonwealth.
Give them time.
Part of it.
Give them time. Give them time. Give them time. Okay? She came and took the country from under, bowing down to the queen.
But they still go and get knighted and get called sir.
No Barbadian has gone to England and been knighted. Name a Barbadian that's gone to England and been knighted. No Barbadian has gone to England and been knighted as no sir. No one.
Sir Garfield Sobers is not a sir?
Garfield Sobers wasn't knighted under Mia Motley. No Barbadian has been knighted.
Okay, you're talking under Mia Motley. Okay.
No Barbadian has been knighted under Mia Motley as prime minister. None. No, that title doesn't exist anymore.
So so maybe there's another title, because I'm sure they're still going there and taking whatever is given out.
No, they're not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that's one of the key problems where people probably are angry with Mia too. That she decided that Barbados was done with that. Done with that. If she looked inwardly and she looked to Africa. I have to give her that. I I have to give her that. You know, she understands who she is, and she's comfortable in her own skin. I don't care what they say about her. She is comfortable in her own skin. She's more comfortable in her own skin than most people that are at her same station and level in the Caribbean. Look at Jamaica. It's still a country beholden to England. There are other countries in the Caribbean that are not republics. And they have more, and I hearken again, more under their geological table in their geological space than does little Barbados. So I give Barbados some credit. I'm not going to beat Barbados down. I give Barbados some credit. Period. Barbados is holding its own, is punching above its own weight. There are people right now that's pissed off at Barbados, large countries that's pissed off at Barbados because that prime minister stood on her 2 feet and spoke truth to power. So, no, I love my prime minister. I will let nobody talk no foolishness about her. I'll show the contrast, and they can make up their own mind. But she's holding up her own. And what she's doing, trying to establish a route between Barbados and Africa, right back across the Atlantic Ocean. She's trying to build again. And all she's having is the people knocking her talking about she went and buried a damn foolishness. Buried a flag in the ground, in the grave or whatever. So what? So what? Before we had religion, we had voodoo, we had voodoo. We had African-centered belief systems. People forget that. You walk in the Catholic Church, there ain't no black Madonnas in there. You go to Vatican City. You and I have both been to Vatican City.
Yeah.
What's in Vatican City? What's inside St. Peter's Basilica? The truth be known. So, but anyway, I'll say what I had to say about my Dawn Marie. I love me some Dawn Marie. I love me some Dawn Marie. Can't nobody move me from no Dawn Marie. I love me some Dawn Marie. You understand? That's my little niece, man. You know, she's good people, and her head is in the right direction. She's loyal. And Dawn Marie, you hold your head up. You know, love your husband and love your children, love your mama and your little sister. And God bless you, man. You're going to do things in Barbadian politics. Just don't go back to nobody who ain't got it right. Now, if Ronnie comes in there and Steve Blackett and you want to rethink it, because I think Ronnie and Steve Blackett are right. They're right for the deal.
But did you hear that Steve Blackett may be in the BLP team?
I did not hear that.
That he got a job. I blogged on it that Steve Blackett may be taking a government job with the BLP.
Well, if Steve Blackett takes a job, I like Steve Blackett. If he does, good luck to brother Steve, because he was mistreated. He was mistreated. Same thing with Ronnie. Ronnie was mistreated. So I can't blame nobody who's been mistreated and decided, you know what? I need to look out. I got to feed my family. So I can't blame them. I'm not going to hold that against them. I just want the people of Barbados to enjoy good lives and to live happily. Yep. So we've been on here for a while.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
all
so
right.
we talk later.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Help me spread the word about Naked Departure via social media. Subscribe and share to show support and love for our channels.